Our next speaker represents an institution central to Africa's collective vision and long-term agenda. As Commissioner for Infrastructure and Energy at the Africa Union Commission, she is helping to advance the continental priorities that shape Africa's connectivity, resilience, and prosperity. Why don't we give a warm welcome to Her Excellency Lerato Mataboge to come and make her remarks. Karibu sana. Welcome.
Thank you, Program Director. Your Excellency Mzee Yoweri Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. Your Excellency Dr. William Somei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya. Excellencies, ambassadors here present, the Chairperson of the Board of the African Finance Corporation, Madam Ireti Samuel Ogbu, Mr. Samaila Zubairu, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Africa Finance Corporation, CEOs and members of the AMFI, and other distinguished leaders of financial institutions here present, Dr. Aliko Dangote and captains of industries here present, development partners, friends of Africa, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a privilege to be with you today as we open this inaugural summit anchored on infrastructure as the engine for industrialization, with the purpose of attaining the Africa we want through the Africa we build. On behalf of the African Union Commission, I extend our sincere appreciation to the government of Kenya for its leadership and hospitality, and to the Africa Finance Corporation for convening this important platform. I also convey the greetings and support of the Chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Youssef, who has underscored the importance of this summit as a practical consultative platform that reaffirms our collective commitment to Agenda 2063, which calls for an integrated, a prosperous, and a resilient Africa, powered by its own citizens' efforts and powered by African know-how. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we meet at a decisive moment. The global system is shifting, supply chains are being reconfigured, energy systems are being rewritten, capital is becoming more selective. In this environment, Africa cannot afford fragmentation. We must move with clarity, with coordination, and with conviction. The central question before us is not whether Africa should industrialize. It is whether we will organize our infrastructure, our capital, and our policies to make that industrialization inevitable. The status quo is that less than 35% of Africa's roads are paved, contributing to some of the highest logistics costs globally. Rail networks remain limited and often disconnected. Ports and airports exist, but too often they do not function as seamless gateways to regional markets. In energy, millions of African households still lack access to electricity, and many industries continue to operate with fragmented and unreliable power systems. Without dependable energy, industrialization can never take root. Without industrialization, employment can never scale. Excellencies, Africa is not constrained by potential. It is constrained by alignment. We have capital. I think the CEO made the point very emphatically. We have the capital. Africa's domestic capital market, capital base, now exceeds trillions of dollars. We have markets under the African Continental Free Trade Area, but these elements are not sufficiently connected to create productive capacity at scale. This is why we must fundamentally shift how we think about infrastructure. Infrastructure must move from assets to systems, ports, Rail, roads, power, and digital networks must function together as integrated economic corridors that connect production zones to markets. Today, too much of our value still leaves the continent in raw form and returns at a premium. This is not because Africa lacks the resources or the markets, it's because we have not fully aligned infrastructure, capital, and policy to support industrial value chains. That needs to change. We need to move from extraction to transformation, from exporting commodities to building industries, from fragmented national projects to coordinated continental systems. This is the agenda that the African Union is advancing. Through the Programme for Infrastructure Development in Africa, we are coordinating cross-border investments in transport, energy, and water systems. Through the Trans-African Highways and the African Integrated Rail Network, we are connecting regions to markets. Through the single air transport market, we are unlocking mobility and trade. Through the African single electricity market and the Continental Power Systems Master Plan, we are building an integrated energy system capable of powering industry at scale. And through the digital transformation strategy for Africa, we are ensuring that digital infrastructure becomes a driver of productivity, innovation, and competitiveness. Frameworks alone will not deliver transformation. We have enough frameworks as the African Union Commission. Execution will deliver transformation. And this is why a summit such as this matters. It is not simply a gathering, it is a platform for alignment. A space where governments, financiers, and the private sector come together, not to discuss what is possible, but to commit to what must be delivered. The African Union Commission stands ready to be a strategic pillar in future iterations of this summit towards the Africa we build for the Africa we want. I congratulate, on behalf of the Commission, the Government of Kenya and the leadership of the African Finance Corporation for this visionary platform. We further look forward to this summit and this gathering's support towards actualizing the African Union's theme of the year of 2027, that is going to be leveraging the full potential of the single African air transport market and new technologies for continental integration. Improving our aviation connectivity can shift the needle on intra-Africa trade through cargo movement, including delivering continental integration in real terms. The African Union counts on all of your continued support in connecting Africa. I thank you.